I've never seen a time where all the threats, or so many of the threats, are all elevated, all at exactly the same time.
Would you say that there's multiple blinking red lights out there?
I see blinking lights everywhere I turn.
And that is a grim new warning out from the FBI Director Christopher Wray that America is now in the highest threat environment due to our very dangerous open southern border and some very bad actors overseas. Joining us now is the former New York City mayor. There he is, my friend, the great Rudy Giuliani, America's mayor. You know, Rudy, before we get to what Wray said, I want to get your take, of course, about everything that happened with Hunter Biden, because I know that you have been calling for charges to be brought for some time. Do you believe, first off, that the wheels of justice are finally turning against the Biden family?
I don't. I believe this indictment is a sucker indictment. Let's face it, this is an enormous amount of money. He's being charged for what he spent. He's not being charged for how he received it. How he received it is the biggest scandal in American history that's being covered up. All that money, or much of it, came from enemies of the United States, Red China, a Ukrainian diplomat who was pro-Russian, by the way, a pro-Putin diplomat. No one makes that point. And from the wife of one of the mayor of Moscow, one of Putin's closest allies. So the bulk of that money is bribery money for the vice president of the United States to sell out this country. And you can look to the favors that Biden then did. For example, the woman that gave you $3.5 million is one of the top oligarchs in Russia. She's the only one not sanctioned 5 times by Joe Biden. Now, he's had dinner with her twice. But of course, the crooked press never points that out. This case is not about him paying taxes, not paying taxes, whatever. This is about selling out the United States, really for 30 years. And Hunter says it best, and it's left out of the indictment.
And you are right, Rudy, that you look at no FARA, no foreign agent lobbying, no money laundering. Those statutes expired, as you know. So is this just to sort of save face for David Weiss, or what is this about, real quick?
Oh, sure. This is to escape jail for David Weiss. I mean, David Weiss has fixed the case, just like Comey did before him. And they all do it because nobody's ever held accountable. Comey should have been prosecuted 4 years ago for fixing the Hillary Clinton case. She was guilty as sin. I mean, fixing cases used to be a serious crime when I was a prosecutor. Now, I mean, everybody in the Justice Department does it. And look, they have the Republican candidate for president ready to go on trial in 4 places, all of them with Democrat DAs, all of them in crooked Democratic cities, except the federal case, for things that are not even crimes. And we can't bring a charge against Biden.
You know, Rudy, you're right.
Biden,
you're right. There sure seems to be
individual pieces of evidence that he committed the biggest bribe in the history of the United States. Also, the biggest bribe in the history of Ukraine.
Well, and also, Rudy, the double standards.
The bribe to his president.
I agree with you. There does seem to be clearly a double standard in the way all of this is working. I want to make sure we also get to the other topic because we have so many important things with you this morning.
Sure.
The FBI's also stark warning, Rudy. You know this all too well. You know, as the mayor of New York on 9/11, and you did such an amazing job during, I think, one of the most horrific times, obviously, in America. What goes through your mind? And the reason this week we hit a historic high, and it's not something to be bragging about, 12,000 migrant encounters on our southern border.
Yeah,
it's the biggest one-day high. How worried are you?
Very. Not only am I worried, when I see Christopher Wray there, I say to myself, we have no defense. I mean, if you think he's the head of the FBI, you got one thing. I mean, I've seen heads of FBI. This guy is a complete crook. I mean, he should have been working on this 3 years ago. And he still won't say why it happens. It happens because Biden invites him in. Biden has the door open like this. We don't even make an attempt to stop the terrorists from coming in to bomb us. And this flunky of Biden tells us that the lights are going off all over the place. Hey, crook, those lights were going off 3 years ago. Maybe you could have done something about it then. But if something happens in this country, it is right on him and Biden, because what they could have done 3 years ago, they didn't do. They let the Taliban come in, they let ISIS, whatever remains of it, come in, and now they're letting the new ones come in. And Iran has a straight passage into New York. And 3/4 of the Chinese that come into New York are wearing suits, and they're military-age men. And the Chinese are not spying on us, and they own our president. And that guy, who's the FBI director, has covered that up for 4 years. Now, that's a crime.
You know, it is amazing, as you just talked about the Chinese. I was seeing, I think it's last year, it's been 26,000 Chinese, also many from Syria, many from Iraq, many from a lot of these countries that we are deeply concerned about. Rudy, what keeps you up at night now? Is it the lone wolf? Is it someone from Hamas? Is it internal? What is it? Because, you know, the one thing I thought was stunning, and we just heard it from Director Wray, he's saying that it's all these blinking lights all at the same time, and he's never sort of seen it. As you know all too well, sometimes it's in one or two directions. Now it's like a fire alarm, and that's scary for America.
If he's never seen it, he should quit. He could have seen it 3 years ago. I can assure you, if I were there as Attorney General or Director of the FBI, this would not be going on. I'll also assure you, if any honest, reasonable, sensible person were there, and not a crook, it wouldn't be going on. This is a direct result of having a criminal for president, a career criminal for president, and a suck-up for FBI director who has fixed more cases. I mean, the guy shouldn't even be allowed on television. He keeps me up at night because we don't have an adequate defense against this. We are defenseless. They have plenty on their side, but with a demented president and an FBI director who's covered up some of the biggest crimes in the history of the country, who's defending us?
Well, that is a very scary premise, Rudy, as you bring up. Boy, are we vulnerable with all of these different elements. Rudy, thank you very much, America's Mayor. Thanks for being with us, Rudy. We always appreciate it.